How's it going, guys? Welcome back. Submissions you got to use on a bigger opponent. So I'm going to let you know right now, these techniques work on all sizes. It doesn't really matter. They incorporate leverage, angles, everything you're going to need to submit a bigger opponent. So I'm going to have my buddy over here. He's going to be the big guy, the huge guy for this demonstration. Okay, let's start with that first one. So the first one I'm going to show you right now are going to be footlocks. Let's start with the footlock. So the footlock is just going to be, really honestly, any footlock, but the number one, the best one is going to be heel hooks, right? So what are the heel hooks? We actually have a few videos on footlocks, where I'm going to leave a link for you guys. But heel hooks are just going to be the easiest thing. That they have so much leverage, and it doesn't even matter the size. Why? Because we're attacking the knee, right? So the heel hook, although the name is called heel hook, it's actually attacking everything inside the knee. All the ligaments that go in and around it, you're going to just tear that up. So essentially, entering into that full lock position, and we're just taking a bite of the heel. Look at that. Taking a bite of the heel, I connect my hands. This is what you guys see a lot in the UFC when it comes to the heel hook position. It's just weaving your hand inside and connecting. The biggest thing you want to know with this kind of finish is people, a lot of times, they think of it as like trying to wrench the arm this way, trying to pull the leg this way. But it's actually not doing that at all. The reality is just think of it as I'm trying to bring his toes towards my butt. So if I'm over here and I try to bring my toes, or rather his toes, towards the butt, that's what's going to cause the pain. And in fact, it's going to start at the heel. You're going to have things tearing all the way up into the knee, and that's where it's pretty much done. Again, the benefit is it takes no strength at all. Barely anything. Bare minimum. Just to get this, it's almost nothing. You can even go deeper with it and make it absolutely crazy. Now, the reason why, again, the heel hook is just so much more powerful, because if I use anything else, like if I use the straight ankle lock, so the straight ankle lock now is actually going around the Achilles. Same thing, we've done a video on this one before as well. If I'm doing this technique here, and he's just a way bigger guy, I'm talking like 50, 60 pound difference, even 100 pounds. He can easily just reach forward, maybe grab my wrist, pull it really tight, and it's like, whoa, you're gonna be like, I can't get my arm back. Or he can reach for my head. If he reaches for my head and pulls my head towards him, and I can't arch my back, this sucks. Like, it's actually really, really painful. And then the final thing he can do is what's called giving the boot. He flexes his foot so friggin' strong that you can't even arch it. And believe me, if they have that much of a gap in size, you're gonna have like an impossible time. But again, when it comes to the heel hook, it doesn't matter. He can flex all he wants, right? It's actually the power of my lats just curving around the heel, and that's it. I'm already there. It takes barely anything. Now, you do also have other options like toe holds, right? So toe hold, grabbing onto the toe, weaving your arm under, grabbing your forearm, and then same idea, you want to bring the grip to your chest, and it's toe towards his butt. So I'm going to turn the toes towards the butt. That's the idea. Again, same thing, it can work, but if it's a gap of 100 pounds, he flexes his foot on me, right? Oh, I can't even do it with him right now. There's no way. I can't even fold his foot. So, like I said, you have the straight ankle, which is possible. It's just I find it too difficult. You have the toe hold, right, which is still pretty good, but the heel hook is going to be the way to go. I have one more footlock I'm going to show you guys as an option, but you know what I'm going to say. Heel hook is going to be the way to go. Now we have the knee bar. So if you notice, make sure my hips go as close to his hips as possible, right? It's exactly like the arm bar. Get your hips as close to his hips as possible. Just like in the arm bar, you try to get your hips as close to the armpit as possible. Now, as I hug onto the leg, fall to the side, and now I want to extend my hips. I'm extending my hips into his kneecap, which is flexing in the opposite way, which is what's going to break it, right? This one's really, really good. This one's a very, very powerful one. You have angled this way. You can even angle it top corner that way. It's all really, really good stuff. It's all options that you can play with. Now moving on, we can attack chokes, right? Now, I'm going to actually avoid showing you guys any arm locks, right? Why? Well, if it's a guy with a 100-pound size difference, 60-pound size difference, his arms are just going to be way too much to dominate. They really are. They're going to be way too powerful. I would say just avoid them. Avoid attacking it. Always go for chokes. Doesn't matter how ripped he is. His arteries are going to be the same. They're going to be blocked with the same amount of pressure. Now, let me show you guys the guillotine choke. Guillotine, guillotine. I like saying guillotine. Some people are very, very anal about it. They like saying guillotine, but it doesn't really matter. But anyways, let's go into the guillotine choke. He's going to be on his knees. Really easy entry. All we're going to do is post the foot on the knee. You guys see I'm posting that foot on that knee. So I'm grabbing onto his neck, posting the foot on the knee, and I'm going to push his leg. And notice what's going to happen to his posture. See how it pulls his posture down? In combination, I'm going to pull his head. So as I push his leg, pull his head, I'm going to dunk him into my armpit area. So as I push, arm goes across, I dunk his head, and I let my chest touch his shoulder. What does that do? Blocks the exit. His head now, if he tries to posture up, he can exit out. If I dunk and I bring my chest to his back, he cannot escape. This is going to be a huge headache for him. And it's a big detail. Really try to stay nice and close to his shoulder. So again, maybe hand fighting, grab onto the neck, pulse your foot on the knee, push and pull, right? You want to bring him down, right? Bring him to you. You can meet in the middle, right? You can push and meet in the middle, but make sure you do the work of stretching his leg and pulling him down first. You really got to make sure you do that. So full commitment. Push and pull. Bring yourself chest to the shoulder. Make sure you get your arm all the way across the neck, and you want to finish off. So I call this a choking arm. This is the support arm. So this support arm is taking care of the choking arm. I reach through and I grab onto my palm, just like this. Grab onto the palm. I want to make sure now, watch as I bring my wrist up, tighten up my elbows, right? Tighten up my elbows, and we're going to go for the finish. To actually finish the guillotine or guillotine choke, you can finish it a few ways. I can finish in open guard, so I have no connection. I have no connection to him other than his neck. What I want to do is make sure I pinch my elbows. I'm going to try to bring my wrist to my chin. So I'm going to try to bring my wrist to my chin. That's going to get a very painful tap. He's going to feel like his Adam's apple is being pushed in and sliced across. It's actually very, very uncomfortable. But if you want more security, more confidence with this, so you can either finish open guard and using your feet just as like a measuring tape just to keep him far away, or you can scoot in, fall into close guard. Now I'm going to change the angle just so you guys get a better view of it. So watch, I know you have our backs to us right now, our backs are to you right now, but it's just so you guys can see the finish. So again, connect, I fall, I drop him on his head. Don't fall directly on your back. Lock your feet up, and I'm going to bring my wrist, again, towards my chin. The next thing is going to be the rear naked choke. So rear naked choke, really the only reason you're going to do it is from the back for now. So get your hooks in, get your seatbelt, and what we're going to do now, we're going to do a little bit of a, it's sort of like a practice. You can drill at home, right? You can drill with your friends, and at the same time you're doing the submission, right? So what we're going to do is watch. I'm going to fall to my side. As I fall to my side, I want to grab his wrist and want to quickly swing my arm around his neck. So before I hit the ground. So as I fall, I catch. So catch the wrist, go behind the neck, right? All the way around, grab onto the shoulder. Don't just leave your fingers out like this, because he's going to panic and grab my fingers and pull. So you want to hide all the way behind. Now what I want to do is release the wrist, slide my hand behind, bicep, shoulder, bicep, shoulder. Tuck the eyes, and then you go ahead and squeeze gently. And how you squeeze is pretty simple. You can imagine squeezing inward, so you're pulling inward. I'm trying to drag his Adam's apple all the way to the back of his neck. You can think of it as pulling and going diagonal to the floor. So pulling, going diagonal to the floor. That's going to cause sort of like an angular crush. So you have just straight back and angular. There you have it, guys. So this is just a basic idea of what sort of things you can do against someone who's much bigger than you. So you have attacking the legs and you have attacking the neck. Try to stay within those two areas there. Those are the submissions you're really going to enjoy, or rather have a high success with and enjoy as well. So you have the heel hook as the number one, right? It's going to be the most leveraged foot lock. And then when it comes to chokes, you have a toss-up between the rear naked choke and you have the guillotine choke. Now there's also a different host of submissions. You can do all sorts of different chokes, but those are the basic bread and butter. It's really hard to beat that. It's so nice. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that now. Like our video, share. It really helps. We want to spread all these techniques as far as we can.